I just finished the new series Lockerbie: A Search for Truth over on Peacock. Was it good? I'll let you know. Hi everyone, my name is Bob and welcome to Was It Good, where I give you my movie and TV show reviews. And today we're going to be talking about Lockerbie: A Search for Truth. This is a drama series over on Peacock that's based on the terror attack of Pan Am Flight 103 and its aftermath. Now, as far as spoilers go for this, I am going to try to keep them to a bare minimum, but because we are talking about true events, there might be a couple things that I do talk about. Now, if you've seen the series already, I'd like to know what you thought. Why don't you go ahead and share your comments in the comment section below? Let me know. Do you like this? Do you hate it? Is this a series you were looking forward to seeing? Do you remember the terror attack? And if you haven't seen the series yet, do you want to see them? I'd really like to know what you thought. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to it. On December 21st, 1988, 259 passengers and crew, as well as 11 residents on the ground, were killed when Pan Am Flight 103 exploded over the quiet town of Lockerbie, Scotland. Following the bombing that resulted in the death of his daughter Flora, Dr. Jim Swire begins his search for answers. As his life and family start to crumble, he continues with his crusade for truth and a desire to find those responsible for her death. Now, I was 8 years old when this attack took place, and I do remember seeing images of the wreckage on television. And when I saw the trailer for this, I was interested right away because I remember that attack and I like historical dramas. And then I found out this was based on a book written by the main character, so that added a whole nother level of interest for me. Now that I've seen the series, what did I think? First off, I thought this was a very compelling drama. It's told through the point of view of Jim Swire as he's trying to come up with answers for what happened to Pan Am Flight 103 and who was responsible for it. And the journey he goes on trying to get answers, trying to see who knew what and who was responsible, I thought that was very compelling. And to see the impact that it had on his life was very heartbreaking in certain moments. It was very intriguing. You see the effect that it has on his family, on his friends, on families of other victims. And there's the official narrative as to who was responsible for the attack. And of course, Jim Swire, and this isn't a spoiler because again, these are real events, believes that the man was guilty, but he comes to a different conclusion. And the effect that that has on him personally and what he does in that aftermath, I found that to be very interesting. And the show itself presents his opinion, but it also shows the other opinion as well. And so I thought that that was very interesting because it was a compelling drama that presented many different sides to this argument as to who might have been responsible and why a lot of the questions regarding this terror attack remain unanswered. There are also several intense moments that really draw you into the story. For example, the first 20 minutes of episode 1, there's literally this build up to the explosion of Pan Am 103. And then once it happens, you see the wreckage coming down, you see bodies falling from the sky, and the effect that that has on the town of Lockerbie as people are in fear, seeing things explode next to them. And again, bodies are literally falling down in front of them. It's just incredible to watch because it really draws you in. And then to feel what the Swire family is going through while they're waiting for information to find out if their daughter was in fact on this plane. It's just really heartbreaking, but it draws you in. There's courtroom drama, seeing PTSD from Swire's wife. There's the decisions that Swire makes after he makes certain conclusions and the steps that he takes. It's just draws you in because there's a lot of intense moments through this. Now, I don't think that this is an action-packed series by any means, but again, there's several intense moments throughout it because of the way the drama plays out that just really draw you in. Finally, I want to highlight the acting performances, which I think were really good from the entire cast, but two specific ones. Catherine McCormick plays Jane Swire. She was great in this role as her character is dealing with all types of PTSD from the fact that her daughter died a very violent death and the types of dreams that she's having because of it. And then the decisions that Jim is making and the effect that it has on her, we as an audience get to see that. And this actress did a really good job of bringing that to life. So Catherine McCormick, fantastic performance. And then Colin Firth, he is a fantastic actor and he was great in this as well, as his character is an obsessed father. He's trying to find out what happened to his daughter and who knew what and who was responsible. And he's a grieving father, but he's obsessed. And his search for answers is done at the expense of his family. And to see the impact that it has on him personally and the conclusions that he comes to and the choices he makes because of those conclusions, He really brought this character to life, and I think he did a fantastic job. Overall, the cast was great in this series. There are a couple things that I want to mention here. First off, the story takes place through 3 decades over the course of 5 episodes. And because it's such a vast amount of time, there's portions where you're only getting snapshots into the events that'll happen. Now, there are others where you see the way current events play on the aftermath of the terror attack. And I thought that was kind of cool. But at other moments, it was just snapshots. And I would have really liked certain questions to be answered, and because of the vast amount of time, I had more unanswered questions than I had answered ones. Also, I do think that this is a show that's going to connect better with those that actually lived through the event or remember the event. If you don't really remember it, I doubt this is going to connect with you. In fact, the series itself acknowledges that as time moves on, people tend to forget. So unless you actually remember it or you're connected more with that time period, I'm not sure you're really going to connect with this show. Like, I doubt this is going to connect with the younger generation, probably more so with the older generation, but this is not a show with mass appeal. Real quick, before I get into my final thoughts, I want to remind everybody to go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe there's something that you're interested in seeing or something that you've seen already and you'd like to let me know what you thought. Also, for those that are interested, I have another YouTube channel with a couple of my friends where we put on a show called Dad's Turn to Talk. This is an opportunity for 3 dads to get together and talk about the things that we want to talk about, including movies, sports, pop culture, and have a little bit of fun at each other's expense. The link to that channel will be in the description below. Final thoughts. Was it good? I thought this was a very compelling story that had great acting performances and several intense moments that really drew me in. I enjoyed seeing the way events played out and seeing the conclusions that Jim came to, and also seeing the opposing views and how those clashed. I thought overall this was a very good series, and it brought back a lot of memories because, again, I remember this when it happened. Now, if you remember it and you like historical dramas, I think you're going to like this. If you don't like historical dramas, then this probably isn't for you. Now, if you're still watching this long, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.